This video is about successor and assign provisions in leases, why they're important, and how you need to structure them. If you want a copy of the text of our preferred successor and assigns provision, sign up for the New Jersey Law Real Estate Letter that our firm provides regularly. So what is a successor and assigns provision? This is a provision in a lease that the tenant and all of their obligations in the lease will carry over, and the tenant will be obligated to continue their obligations under the lease when the property transfers to a new owner. This is critical in real estate because investment properties may be sold to a new owner, or they may transfer to a new LLC, or they may have a new property management company that takes over. There's a lot of ways that the rights to a lease may need to transfer. And you want to have this provision because if the current owner is the one on the lease, now there's a new owner, the parties that have signed off are the tenant with their obligations to the owner. So you want to force the tenant that when the new owner is, they're going to comply with the new owner. For example, continue to pay their rent to the new owner. If they're supposed to maintain the grounds in some sense, then they have to keep doing that. They can't get out of their lease because they signed it with a person that's no longer an owner anymore. So that's why it's really important to have this clause in your lease. What does a successor and assigns lease provision need to cover? So successor and assigns provision, it is designed to help the landlord upon the transfer of property. So first thing is that it needs to cover the types of transfers. Obviously, the most common one is a sale. So upon sale, they must comply with the provisions, abide by it for the new owner. But this can also apply upon transfer. So if a party, say it's in their personal name, and they want to transfer it to an LLC or transfer to a corporation, then you would have that provision that they can have to continue to comply with paying rent and any conditions to the new owner. So that's the first thing, the obvious part that needs to be specified, the type of the transfer. Now, depending on the way the negotiation was, you would want to emphasize all the obligations that would transfer. Now, for example, there might be some obligations in some cases that don't transfer. For example, maybe if they're doing something personal to the current owner, maybe that should be a carve out that doesn't transfer to a new owner, especially if you don't want the tenant to continue doing what they're doing. So there could be something you carve out, but assuming there is nothing that you need to carve out that you wouldn't want to apply, then the provision should state that every obligation, the entirety of the lease carries over upon the transfer, and all the obligations carry over that they must continue to do them, this time now to the benefit of the new owner under the lease. Okay guys, so this video we covered what is successor and assigns provision, why you need it, and what you need to include in it. If you want a copy of our preferred language of a successor and assigns provision, join our free newsletter, Real Estate Legal News, which is your source for recent real estate legal news.